Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. Today we will talk about the energy money. First of all, I would like to introduce our topic, energy money. In the field of biology, ATP is called energy money. It plays a role of settling energy for various chemical reactions and life activities in cells, which is quite similar to the function of money in the financial system, such as trading, storing, and measuring. It is similar to the trading, storage, and measurement functions of money in the financial systems. Just as currency needs to satisfy the requirements of easy exchange, storable values, and easy valuation, ATP has become the general accepted universal equivalent of energy in living organisms because of its ability to store and release energy quickly, and can be efficiently recycled within the cell. In other words, the energy financial system in living organisms provides ready-to-use energy for various cellular processes through the continuous discharge and recharging of ATP. The currency status of ATP from its ability to store and release energy repeatedly and efficiently. It is stable and recyclable property that makes ATP a universal and flexible medium of energy exchange at the cellular level.
Hi everyone, here let me explain the ATP-ADP cycling principle. When we talk about that, firstly we need to know the basic structure of ATP. From the picture, we can see that adenosine triphosphate consists of three parts. The biggest house shape in the center is ribose sugar. The small room attached to the right is adenine, and the three small coin-shaped ones on the left are phosphate groups. The ATP-ADP cycle is a biological concept that tells the story of how cells store and release energy. We can see that here are two simple formulas to show how the cycle works. ATP becomes ADP plus Pi plus energy by decomposing enzyme. ADP plus Pi plus energy becomes ATP by synthesis. ATP is the main energy carrier in the cell. It has three phosphate groups. When the cell needs energy, it cuts the bond between the second and third phosphate groups in ATP. This releases energy and ATP becomes ADP with only two phosphate groups. The energy released can be used for many cellular processes, such as muscle movement, active transportation, and chemical reaction. Later, the cell can utilize the energy in food to replenish ADP by adding another phosphate group. In this way, ADP becomes ATP again. This cycle of breaking down ATP into ADP to release energy and then regenerating ATP from ADP happens continuously in living cells. That's how cells manage energy efficiently. We believe that this cycle can be applied to the money market as well. So next, let my teammates talk about that.
After presenting the basis, we know ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, is the energy currency within biological organisms, while money serves as a medium of exchange in our economic system. There are many striking similarities between the two, particularly in terms of decentralization. The two concepts bear similarities in three principal respects. They both possess intrinsic value, they exhibit equivalent functionality, and they engender a decentralizing effect. First of all, they both have embedded value. In a commodity money system like a gold standard, the currency or gold has intrinsic value beyond its use as money. Similarly, ATP holds intrinsic value to cell because its chemical bonds store potential energy that can be released to drive essential processes. This energy is fundamental for life, and both of them have a tangible basis. Gold is a tangible commodity that backs the currency in a gold standard. While not a physical object in the same way, ATP is a tangible molecule which directly take part in energy transfer. Secondly, they have three similar functions. First, ATP and money both act as mediums of exchange, being a universal medium facilitating the flow and exchange of energy of value. Secondly, they both have storage functions. ATP stores energy, while currency stores value, ensure availability when needed. Third, these two serve as units of account. ATP measures energy, while currency measures economy value. Last but not least, they both highlight the importance of decentralization and autonomy. ATP production and use is highly decentralized, while each cell autonomously managing its ATP supply to ensure the efficient functioning of the organism. ATP decentralization ensures biological efficiency, while decentralized money aims to achieve similar effects in economy system. ATP and money have a profound function similarity, and the monetary system can draw on the ATP mechanism.
Okay, I will compare ATP, natural energy currency, with modern money, where both act as medium of exchange. Their roles in storing value and measuring value differ radically. Let's divide into three key differences. First, storing of value. ATP is like a disposable battery. It releases energy quickly but degrades within seconds. Cells make ATP on demand with no central authority. Money, however, must store value long-term, but inflation or policy can erode. Central banks work hard to prevent currency crisis, but ATP system never fail. Second, unit of account. ATP's energy value is fixed. 1 ATP usually always equals 7.3 energy units. Never changes, but $1 today may be less tomorrow because prices change. Trust in governments and markets shape money's value, but ATP's value comes from nature's rules. Finally, decentralization. Every cell is its own ATP's factory, balancing supply and demand perfectly. Modern money relies on central banks. If it fails, system collapses. Imagine a world where money like ATP self-regulates, no hyperinflation, no bailouts. It's the power of decentralization. In short, ATP shows us the power of decentralization and fixed value. Unlike human currencies relies on central banks and trust, ATP works perfectly without central authority. The stability comes from sense rules and self-regulation. Maybe future money could copy ATP, then safer, smarter, and no inflation. We will think about this next.
I'm Yadong. Thanks for the comparison between ATP and money. Now I will focus on the final part of this presentation. Can we transform the modern currency into an ATP-like energy currency? I will start by discussing this modern currency, each with unique trade-offs. First is the gold standard. It was a currency that was trusted. Gold doesn't lose value easily, storable, and universally accepted. But the gold is also inflatable. Its supply can't quickly adjust to economic needs. So it's just like a field that can make more ATP when needed. That's a problem during the economic crisis. And then it's the modern fiat currency. It's fast and scalable. Central bank can print money to stimulate the economic growth, but because it's centralized, so there will be an inflation sometime. And then it's the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is quite popular in recent years. It's a digital currency designed to be decentralized like ATP. Its limited supply ensures scarcity, but also has a problem. It wastes a lot of energy through mining without directly powering anything. So the value to produce the Bitcoin is not stored and used. but it's wasted. So if no existing currency work like ATP, how can we move closer to it? I have two simple ideas. First is anchoring money in measurable value. ATP is produced when sales perform real work. Modern currency can also follow this principle. They can be issued in connection with real economic output, and their value should be anchored to objective value like energy or product. I think this can strengthen the connection between money and real economy, and that can make sure the long-term stability. Second is distributed creation and circulation. ATP is not made by a central bank. It's created locally with each cell exactly when and where it's needed. Likewise, modern currency system can also become decentralized by enable local value creation and exchange, which is more flexible and adaptable. In summary, I think it's hard to transform modern currency into an ATP-like energy currency. But if we want, I think the modern currency should be earned through real work based in a measurable value and circulated through decentralized responsive system, just like ATP in sale. Thank you for your listening.